It's a long way to Tipperary. It's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. Goodbye, Piccadilly. Farewell, Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart's right there. Wally wrote a neat reply to Irish Radio.
As this year is the 100th anniversary of the beginning of the First World War, the Alcazebra Players, the drama group, and the Alcazebra Singers, the choir, have joined together to present Reflections 1914 to 1918. Our aim was to commemorate the efforts of those who died or were wounded, and to remember their families and their communities. We have included the sad and the humorous in an attempt to show the resilience of the soldiers and of those left at home. This is not a glorification of war, rather a tribute to the courage and endurance of the men who died and their families. The piece consists of songs, poems and contemporary comments. The two groups have worked very well together and enabled both the choir and the drama group not only to benefit from their joint experience, but to be mutually supportive of each other's contribution.
Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. Goodbye, Piccadilly. Farewell, Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart's right there. We shall cheer you, thank you, kiss you when you come back again.
8. That's the number of recruits on the 1st of August at London's main army recruitment centre at Great Scotland Yard. It would soon increase dramatically.
Lord Kitchener's appeal. 100,000 men required for the war. No men will be refused who are physically fit for active service and between the ages of 19 and 30. Old soldiers up to 42. Late NCOs of regulars and ex-soldiers urgently needed.
The new army. Terms of enlistment for the present war. As some misapprehension still appears to exist, the Army Council desired to make it known that any man enlisting in the army under the present conditions will be discharged with all speed possible the minute that the war is over, whether this is 3 weeks or 3 years. Should the war last over 3 years, their continuance of service will be optional.
Who's absent? Is it you? Women of Britain say go.
Every mother's son is ready to carry a gun.
Are we downhearted? No. Are we downhearted? No. Are we downhearted? No, no, no. Are we downhearted? No, 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 no.
national emergency, and all of the communities in England had to play their part. The entertainment industry did their bit, and this song which is coming up now was sung by Miss Gwendolyn Brogden and became a music hall hit. The Army and the Navy need attention. The outlook isn't healthy, you'll admit. But I've got a perfect dream of a new recruiting scheme, which I think is absolutely it. If only other girls would do as I do, I believe that we could manage it alone. For I turn all suitors from me, but the sailor and the Tommy, I've an army and a navy of my own.
On Sunday I walked out with the soldier. On Monday I'd taken my attack. On Tuesday I'm out, oh, with a baby boy scout. On Wednesday a huzzah. On Thursday I gang out with a Scotty. On Friday the captain of the crew. But on Saturday I'm willing, if you'll only take the shilling, to make a man of any one of you.
I teach the tenderfoot to face the powder that gives an added luster to my skin. And I show the raw recruit how to make a chase salute. So when I'm presenting art, he's falling in. Oh, it makes you almost proud to be a woman when you make a strapping soldier of a kid. And he says, you put me through it, and I didn't mean to do it. But you went and made me love you, so I did.
On Sunday I walked out with the foes. On Monday a rifleman in green. On Tuesday I choose a sub in the blues. On Wednesday a marine. On Thursday a terrier from Tooting. On Friday a midshipman or two. But on Saturday I'm willing, if you'll only take the shilling, to make a man of any one of you.
Trench. Are you, my laddie? Who'll follow French? Will you, my laddie? Who's fretting to begin? Who's going out to win? And who wants to save his skin? Do you, my laddie? Who's for the khaki suit? Are you, my laddie? Who longs to charge and shoot? Do you, my laddie? Who's keen on getting fit? Who means to show his grit? And who'd rather wait a bit? Would you, my laddie? Who'll earn the Empire's thanks? Will you, my laddie? Who'll swell the victor's ranks? Will you, my laddie? When that procession comes, banners and rolling drums, who'll stand and bite his thumbs? Will you, my laddie?
Enlist today.
God save the King!
Who's absent? Is it you?
Women of Britain say,
Go!
I have come to say goodbye, Dolly Gray. It's no use to ask me why, Dolly Gray. There's a murmur in the air, you can hear it everywhere. It is time to do a dare, Dolly Gray. Don't you hear the tramp of feet, Dolly Gray? Sounding through the village street, Dolly Gray. 'Tis the tramp of soldiers' feet in their uniforms so neat. So goodbye until we meet, Dolly Gray. Goodbye, Dolly, I must leave you, though it breaks my heart to go. Something tells me I am needed at the front to fight the foe. See, the soldier boys are marching, and I can no longer stay. Hark, I hear the bugle calling. Goodbye, Dolly Gray. Goodbye, Dolly, I must leave you, though it breaks my heart to go. Something tells me I am needed at the front to fight the foe. See, the soldier boys are marching, and I can no longer stay. Hark, I hear the bugle calling. Goodbye, Dolly Gray.
Owing to the war danger, marriage licences can now be obtained any hour of the day or night at the family office. A great many have been applied for by naval and military men, hoping to marry before going to the front.
At Liverpool Street Station one day, amidst a crowd of weeping women, watching husbands, sons and lovers go off on a journey which for some would be for so long, stood a woman who was not weeping. This was told to me by a woman who had been there. We couldn't help but laugh, miss, even though we were crying awful. She pushed her husband into the carriage, miss. She banged the door on him, and at the top of her voice she cries, "Oh, thank God he's gone. Thank God he's gone." We couldn't help but laugh, miss.
Brother Bertie went away to do his bit the other day. Oh, with a smile on his lips and his left tender's bits upon his shoulders, bright and gay. As the train pulled out, he said, "Remember me to all the birds." And then he wagged his paw and went away to war, shouting out these pathetic words. Goodbye, goodbye. Oh, wipe the tear, baby dear, from your eye. Though it's hard to part, I know I'll be tickled to death to go. Don't cry, don't sigh. There's a silver lining in the sky. Bonsoir, thing, cheerio, chip, chip, now boom, toodaloo, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Wipe the tear, baby dear, from your eye. Though it's hard to part, I know I'll be tickled to death to go. Don't cry, don't sigh. There's a silver lining in the sky.
Bonsoir, old thing, cheerio, chin chin. Now boom, toodaloo, goodbye.
Recruiting and the farewells. The fighting began in real earnest.
We ate our breakfast lying on our backs because the shells were screeching overhead. I bet a rasher to a loaf of bread that Hull United would beat Halifax when Jimmy Stainforth played full-back instead of Billy Bradford. Ginger raised his head and cursed and took the bet and dropped back, dead. We ate our breakfast lying on our backs because the shells were screeching overhead.
Comrades, ever since we were boys, sharing each other's sorrows, sharing each other's joys. Comrades, when manhood was dawning, faithful whatever may be time, when danger threatened, my darling old comrade was there by my side. Comrades, comrades, ever since we were boys, sharing each other's sorrows, sharing each other's joys. Comrades, when manhood was dawning, faithful whatever may be tide, when danger threatened, my darling old comrade was there by my side.
1914, Princess Mary's gift box. The King's 17-year-old daughter thought it appropriate that a gift box be given to every member of the services, at the front or at sea. Each brass box contained
A Christmas card.
A photograph of Princess Mary.
A pipe.
Pipe tobacco.
Cigarettes.
a lighter,
Sweets.
A writing set. The pencil in the shape of a bullet.
426,724 boxes were given out.
Christmas saw outbreaks of peace all along the front. Opposing soldiers mingled in no man's land, played football, sung carols and popular songs. And in one instance, a British soldier had his hair cut by a German barber he'd known in London.
Let's give them one of ours.
Yeah.
It was Christmas Day in the cookhouse, the happiest day of the year. Men's hearts were full of gladness and their bellies full of beer. When up spoke Private Shorthouse, his face as bold as brass, saying, "We don't want your Christmas pudding and stick it up your
I
mates were standing round, and hundreds of beautiful women were stretched out on the ground, when in strolled the bold-bagged sultan and gazed on his marble halls, saying, "What do you want for Christmas, boys?" And the eunuchs answered,
Tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
The war wasn't going according to plan. It wasn't all quiet on the Western Front. The Allies lose 850,000 men in 1914. Half the British Expeditionary Force was wiped out. But the newspapers tried to boost morale with adverts.
From private to general, they all enjoy a wash with right coal tar soap. The soldiers' soap. It soothes, protects, heals. Box of free tablets, 1 shilling.
Our soldiers want more Zambuck for their cuts, sore feet and frostbite. Letters received from the front show that the world-famous healing balm is proving a boon to the soldiers of the Allied armies by swiftly healing their cuts, bruises and sore feet, and by allaying the aches and pains caused by exposure. Zambuck is rendering a valuable service alike to army and state. Orders for Zambuck, in large quantities, marked urgent for the front, have been executed, and the men write to their friends appealing for more Zambuck.
Special offer for the troops at the front. Your soldier friends will appreciate the gift of a few bottles of Lee and Perrin sauce to use with their war rations. It makes bully beef appetizing, and when mixed with jam, is an excellent substitute for chutney. Versus Lee and Perrin's will send 1 dozen special bottles.
In 1915, the soldiers themselves had specific requests. Socks, indelible pencils, paper, envelopes, quinine pills to avert colds, carbolic soap, tooth powder and brushes, towels, and as much chocolate as possible.
Pack up your troubles in your own kit bag and smile, smile, smile. While you've a Lucifer to light your fag, smile, boys, that's the style. What's the use of worrying? It never was worthwhile. So, pack up your troubles in your own kit bag and smile, smile, smile. Pack up your troubles in your own kit bag and smile, smile, smile. While you've a Lucifer to light your fag, smile, boys, that's the style. What's the use of worrying? It never was worthwhile. So, pack up your troubles in your own kit bag and smile, smile, smile.
Letters and postcards played a big part in keeping morale high, both at the front and at home. Some businesses weren't slow to try and take advantage of this.
Waterman's ideal fountain pen. If you knew the difficulty of our men writing hurried notes in the intervals of fighting, if you could see them scrambling around ink pots wherever available, if you could read how the favoured ones appreciate Waterman's ideals as gifts, one of the first things you would do for a soldier or sailor friend of yours would be to send a Waterman's ideal fountain pen safety type, this can be carried anyhow without the fear of leakage. Why not visit your stationer or jeweller and see models?
The soldiers often had to write from the trenches and frequently gave their areas names to remind them of home, like Piccadilly, Leicester Square or Trafalgar Square. Hence, the song that follows these examples of farewell letters and illustrated postcards.
How can I bear to leave thee? One parting kiss I'll give thee, and then, whate'er befalls me, I'll go where honour calls me. Farewell, farewell, my own true love. Farewell, farewell, my own true love.
Somewhere in France, yonder across the sea, while I am here fondly dreaming of you, there you are dreaming of me. For you will know where'er you go, my heart is faithful and true. Though you're far, far away, every hour of the day, I am somewhere in France with you.
Mighty London came an Irishman one day. As the streets are paved with bonjour, everyone was gay, singing songs of Piccadilly, Strand and Leicester Square, till Paddy got excited and he shouted to them there. It's a long way to Tipperary, it's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, I know. Goodbye, Piccadilly. Farewell, Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart's right there. Paddy wrote a letter to his Irish Molly-O, saying, should you not receive it, write and let me know. If I make mistakes in spelling Molly, is an E, remember it's the penalty. It's a long way to Tipperary, it's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. Goodbye, Piccadilly. Farewell, Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart's right there. Wally wrote a neat reply to Irish Paddy-O, saying Mike Maloney wants to marry me, and so leave the Strand and Piccadilly or you'll be to blame. For love has fairly drove me silly, hoping you're the same. It's a long way to Tipperary, it's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. Goodbye, Piccadilly. Farewell, Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart's right there. To Tipperary, it's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. Goodbye, Piccadilly.
letters.
Farewell, mother. You may never press me to your heart again, but you'll not forget me, mother. You will not forget me if I am numbered with the slain.
The brothers William and Robert of the Semple family wrote copious letters to parents and sisters. William was killed in 1916, and this is part of one of Robert's letters home in September 1918.
My dearest mother, your letter reached me last night with the rations. Yesterday morning I had my first wash for 4 days. I cleaned my teeth, shaved, washed my face and hands in a cup full of water. I've just finished stand to in the morning, which takes place this weather from 4 to 5 or 6 a.m. Oh, this is the best time of the day in this hot weather. Oh, I do hope it keeps fine for your holiday and that you have a very good time. With very much love from your loving son, Robert.
Robert died on the 5th of November 1918, aged 22. Semple's brother, William, another prolific letter writer, was killed on June the 29th, aged 21, just before the Battle of the Somme began.
The Battle of the Somme was waged from July the 1st to November the 18th, 1916. It has become a symbol of the war on the Western Front, where mass ranks of inexperienced soldiers, rising out of their trenches, were mown down by machine guns or blown apart by artillery.
Keep right on to the end of the road. Keep right on. right on to the end. Though the way be long, let your heart be strong. Keep right on round the bend. Though you're tired and weary, still journey on till you come to your happy abode, where all you love you'll be dreaming of will be there at the end of the road.
John Lauder was killed on the Western Front in 1916. His father, Harry Lauder, wrote that song, The End of the Road, as a tribute to him. John's fiancée, Mildred Thompson, never married and left her estate to the Erskine Hospital charity, set up for injured service personnel.
General Sir Douglas Haig, however, had his own theory, shown in this conversation with a British general.
Sir, the staff and I have been wondering, sir, that this policy of attrition might be a mistake. After all, it's wearing us down more than it is them. Couldn't we try a policy of manoeuvre on other fronts?
Nonsense! The Western Front is the only real front. We must grind them down. You see, our population is greater than theirs, and their losses are greater than ours.
I don't quite follow that, sir.
In the end, they will have 5,000 men left, and we will have 10,000 men left, and we shall have one.
Religion played a large part, but the soldiers were often not as reverent as they could have been. Hence this rendition of What a Friend We Have in Jesus.
When this rotten war is over, no more soldiering for me. When I get my civic clothes on, oh, how happy I shall be. No more church parades on Sunday, no more putting in for leave. I will kiss the sergeant major, how I'll miss him, how he'll grieve. When this rotten war is over, no more soldiering for me. When I get my civic clothes on, oh, how happy I shall be. I shall sound my own valley. I shall make my own tattoo. No more NCOs to curse me. No more rotten army shoes.
When this rotten war is over, oh, how happy we shall be. When this rotten war is over, and we return from Germany, roll on when we go on furlough, roll on when we get a leave. Then flighty and leave our only girl to grieve. When this rotten war is over, no more soldiering for me. When I get my civvy clothes on, oh, how happy I shall be. No more church parades on Sunday, no more putting in for leave. I shall kiss the sergeant major. How I'll miss him, how he'll grieve.
Dearly beloved brethren, I'm sure you will be glad to hear the news from the home front. The Archbishop of Canterbury has made known that it is no sin to labour for the war on the Sabbath. And I'm sure you'd like to know that the Chief Rabbi has absolved your Jewish brethren from abstaining from pork in the trenches. And likewise, His Holiness the Pope has ruled that the eating of flesh on a Friday is no longer a venial sin.
Average life of a machine gunner under attack, 4 minutes.
The Battle of the Somme ended on the 18th of November 1916. The number of casualties was as follows: Britain 420,000, France 200,000, Germany 450,000.
There was silence from the
women's war. With men joining up in numbers, there was a fear that productivity would go down, especially in crucial industries. Despite many reservations from employers, politicians, unions, and male workers, women were employed to fill the gaps, working in such varied jobs as bank clerks, bus and tram conductors, drivers, farm labourers, lumberjacks, nurses, police officers, taxi drivers, road sweepers, train guards, window cleaners.
And there's the girl that clips your ticket on the train. And there's the girl who speeds the lift from floor to floor. And there's the girl that does the milk round in the rain. And the girl who calls for orders at your door.
Strong, sensible and fit, they're out to show their grit and tackle jobs with energy and knack. No longer caged and penned up, they're going to keep their end up. Till the bar khaki boys, soldier boys come marching back.
There's the motor girl who drives a heavy van. There's the butcher girl who brings your joint of meat. There's the girl who cries, "All fares, please," like a man. And the girl who whistles taxis up the street.
Beneath each uniform beats a heart that's soft and warm, though of canny mother wit they show no lack. But a solemn statement this is, they've no time for love and kisses, till the khaki soldier boys come marching back.
And, of course, the munition workers.
Ooh, these women are doing their bit, learning to make munitions.
On her, their lives depend, munition workers.
Yeah,
You work in munitions, don't you?
Yeah,
and you get a good wage too.
yeah. A girl in my department, she knocked up £3 last week.
Oh, that's where the money is. Wouldn't like to work down there, though, with all those men. Oh.
Yeah, and it's a bit dangerous. One of the girls got blown to smithereens last week.
Ooh, while I'm in cotton, we're doing some funny stuff this week. They say it's for shrouds. Makes you shiver.
Well, my sister's on shirts.
Oh,
I know a song about your sister. Oh, Sister Susie's sewing shirts for soldiers. Give us a note. Sister Susie's sewing shirts for soldiers. Such fear sewing shirts as our young sister Susie showed. Some soldiers say they pistols, say they too wrestling got pistols, and the Susie soldiers or soldiers, Sister Susie sewed.
Sister Susie sewing shirts for soldiers. Such skill at sewing shirts my shy young sister Susie shows. Some soldiers send in pistols, say they sooner sleep on pistols than the saucy shirts for soldiers. Sister Susie shows. Sister Susie sewing shirts for soldiers. Such skill at sewing shirts my shy young sister Susie shows. Some soldiers send in pistols, say they sooner sleep on pistols than the saucy shirts for soldiers. Sister Susie shows. Sister Susie sewing shirts for soldiers. Such skill at sewing shirts my shy young sister Susie shows. Some soldiers send in pistols, say they sooner sleep on pistols than the saucy shirts for soldiers. Sister Susie shows.
The war continues in 1917. So much for the well-known statement, it might all be over by Christmas. Firstly, a tale from one of the wounded from the Somme. It's remarkable how the men kept their sense of humour.
The War One Somme offensive cost 600,000 casualties on either side, and in September 1916, I made up one of that number, convinced that someone had thrown a town hall at me. Finally arriving at Birmingham Military Hospital, complete with a 3-day-old matted bandage, exposing just one eye and a cornery mouth, I was inevitably asked if I'd been hit in the head. Yeah, life was like that. Each walk-in case drew personal kit, including a tin egg cup, to be presented each breakfast time or else. Twice taking the task as idle, I did the route march from the ground floor mess room to the top floor ward, returning with my egg cup, but receiving no egg. My egg cup never held an egg. I at no time even saw an egg. I do not believe that any walking wounded ever had an egg. It is perhaps remarkable that in 1916 I twice forgot that egg cup, but for 52 years I clearly remembered it. Something must egg me on.
Two important things happened in 1917.
6th of April, following a speech by President Woodrow Wilson, the US Congress voted to join the war. The President stated that the world must be made safe for our democracy. Almost a quarter of the total population were registered for the draft. Haig is believed to have said,
I asked for the victory, Lord, before the Americans arrived.
17th of July, a royal proclamation stated, we are out of our royal will and authority, do hereby declare and announce our house and family shall be styled and known as the house and family of Windsor.
So farewell to Victoria and Albert's surname, Saxe, Coburg, Gotha, forever.
The war continued to go from bad to worse. Haig sends a letter to his generals.
From Snowball to Douglas. Water and mud are increasing and becoming horrible. The longer days when they come will be most welcome, especially to the officers who say the conditions are impairing their efficiency. The other ranks don't seem to mind too much.
If I were fierce and bald and short of breath, I'd live with scarlet majors at the base and speed drum heroes up the line to death. You see me with my puffy, petulant face, guzzling and gulping in the best hotel, reading the roll of honour. Poor young chap, I'd say. I used to know his father well. Yes, we've lost heavily in this last scrap. And when the war is done and youth stone dead, I toddle safely home and I die in bed.
Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who died, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
Trenches no more, where whiz-bangs and shrapnel they whistle and roar. Take me back over the sea, where the alley man can't get at me. Oh my, I don't want to die, I want to go home. I want to go home, I want to go home. Don't want to go to the trenches no more, where whiz-bangs and shrapnel they whistle and roar. Take me back over the sea, where the alley man can't get at me. Oh my, I don't want to die, I want to go home.
World War I ended at 11 a.m. on the 11th day of the 11th month, 1918. The war to end all wars killed 10 million, wounded 21 million, missing 7 million. and 8 million horses also died. Almost 11,000 soldiers were killed, wounded, or recorded as missing on the morning of the last day of the war, the 11th of November.
They were gone. Hugh was gone, and Tyler, and little Rawson, Sergeant Powell, that brave old man, Elliot and James, and Johnson. The names of his dead gunners strung themselves before him. This was the very end. What good had it all been? To serve what purpose had they all died? For the moment, he could find no answer. His brain was too numb with memories.
Mr. Straker,
Sir,
you can fall the men out now for breakfast. The war is over.
very good, sir.
Overhead, the pigeons circled and wheeled.
Après la guerre finie, oh, we'll go home to Blighty, but won't we be sorry to leave chère Germaine? Après la guerre finie. Après la guerre finie, tous les soldats partis. Mademoiselle avec Piccanini. Souvenir des Anglais.
On the 11th of November, we marched back 15 miles to Bethencourt. A blanket of fog covered the countryside. At 11 o'clock, we slung on our packs and tramped on along the muddy road. The band played, but there was very little singing. Before a man comes to be wise, he is half dead with catarrhs and aches, with sore eyes and a worn-out body. We were very old, tired, and now very wise. We took over our billets and listlessly devoured a meal. In an effort to cure our apathy, the little American doctor from Vermont, who had joined us a fortnight earlier, broke his invincible teetotalism, drank half a bottle of whiskey, and danced a chakuka. We looked at him with dull eyes, and at last put him to bed.
My mother made us little khaki uniforms. There was to be a great parade through Rickmansworth to celebrate the victory. We would wear our uniforms and wave small Union Jacks. We sat on a garden wall near where the War Memorial now stands and waved our flags and cheered as the soldiers in khaki and hospital blue marched past.
To children, ardent for some desperate glory, the old lie, dulce et decorum est, pro patria mori.
Have you forgotten yet? But the past is just the same, and war's a bloody game.
Have you forgotten yet? Look down and swear by the slain of the war that you'll never forget.
Have you forgotten yet? Look up and swear by the green of the spring that you'll never forget.
Look up and swear by the green of the spring that you'll never forget.
was. Oh, we'll never tell them. No, we'll never tell them. We spent our pay in some cafe and fought one winning night and day. 'Twas the cushiest job we ever had. And when they ask us, and they're certainly going to ask us, the reason why we didn't win the Croydon, oh, we'll never tell them. No, we'll never tell them. There was a front, but damned if we knew where. Oh, 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 it's a lovely war. Who wouldn't be a soldier, eh? Oh, it's a shame to tempt the pain. As soon as rebellion is gone, we feel just as heavy as lead. But we never get up till the sergeant brings our breakfast up to bed. Oh, 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 it's a lovely war. What do we want with eggs and ham when we've got